Dr. Yevgeniya Gaber, who's a former advisor to the Ukrainian leadership, is with me live from Kyiv at this point of time. Dr. Gaber, I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. Thank you for being with me. A big statement from Ukraine, formal statement from the government, where they're saying that it is Russia's policy now only to hit civilian areas. And this comes just minutes after a very, very disturbing video has come out of a possible cruise missile attack on a government building in Kharkiv.
Yes, exactly. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm currently out of Ukraine because I could not get back, but I will with the first flights once they are renewed, hopefully very soon.
Yes.
Well, you're absolutely correct, because if previously we had this assault from the Russian Federation, which was absolutely unfair and which is a blunt violation of international law in itself, now we also have violations of international humanitarian law. Because what we are witnessing now is that basically Russian Federation is afraid of Ukrainian soldiers and of Ukrainian military. So whatever it does is aimed at causing as much damage to Ukraine as a country and to Ukrainian civilians as possible. Several days ago, we had attacks and we had assaults, and including missiles shot at orphanages, at like hospitals, at civilian infrastructure, at those parts of our cities and those strata of our society, at those groups which are most vulnerable and least defended. So this is actually how Russia is functioning, and this is what Russia is doing. So with this, yesterday, this night, and today morning's attacks in Kharkiv, for example, these are blunt war crimes, and these are crimes against humanity, because the weaponry which is being used by the Russian Federation is actually forbidden. You know that I don't want to go into technical details, but I believe that you and those who are watching us know that there are several types of weapons which are forbidden under international humanitarian law, and those are also being used by Russians. So the main target now, I think, is civilians, because this is also a psychological war. It's important to understand that it's not only about military dimension, it's also about information war, it's also about psychological war. So what Russia is trying to do, and will most probably try to do it throughout today and the next couple of days, is to make some damage to our connection, to our mobile networks, to our systems, and then to spread information that actually Kiev is now under Russian occupation, so you have to surrender, you have to actually leave your weapons and say welcome to Russia. But this is not going to happen, because we've been prepared, and we've been in this state of war for 8 years, including information war, including hybrid warfare, all kinds of subversive operations. That is why now actually the world is witnessing this resilience of Ukrainian society. So we're going to stand here, we're going to defend our country, including military, including civilians, including children, women, men, everyone who is capable of doing something, not necessarily in the battlefield, but in any kind of information fronts, diplomatic, whatever, you name it. We're going to defend our country, and this is not going to happen. Now, the psychological state of Russians is much, much worse, because their soldiers were sent to Ukraine mostly thinking they are going to take part in the exercises and in the drills. And now we can read these textings and messages and then listen to phone conversations of Russian boys who are like 17 years old, 20 years old, calling their moms and dads and saying, please take me out of this hell, because I was absolutely sure we're going to exercises in Crimea, and now I find myself in the middle of Ukraine killing Ukrainian civilians and us being killed by Ukrainian soldiers. Russians are taken to the streets, like 1 million people signed a petition to stop this war. So I think that the attacks and the assaults from the Russian side will be even more severe in the next days, because it looks like an agony of this totalitarian, authoritarian dictatorship and Putin's bloody regime.
Dr. Yevgeniya, the sense is that Putin, did not expect this invasion to go on for so long. There are many analysts who believe that he underestimated the defensive strength of Ukraine. He may have miscalculated the amount of time necessary to actually take over and invade Ukraine. But right now, the pictures that we're seeing on day 6 of this invasion, this very dramatic missile attack, in Kharkiv, the huge convoy of tanks and armored vehicles right outside Kyiv. I want to know your perception. Is Putin planning to flatten these cities? Does he need to destroy the cities to take over? What is his plan according to you?
Well, I believe that his initial plan did not work, and that is the main game changer. Because what Putin and what many Russian experts most probably were expecting, and at least what they were telling to their people, that you will be welcomed in Ukraine. So what we need is basically like 1 day or maximum 2 days of marching, and that would be easy walk from the northern borders of Ukraine and from the eastern parts of Ukraine to take the capital, and afterwards we will have a capitulation of Ukrainian government. So we will have a government change in Ukraine, and that's it. And those people who are Russian-speaking population, according to Putin and according to his strategies, would have to welcome Russian defenders or whatever you name it with flowers in the streets, saying that perfect that you came and we've been expecting for you for so long. This did not happen. Odessa, Kherson, Mykolaiv, Crimea, which is in the southern direction, right, and who are Russian-speaking population, but also the eastern regions and such cities which are also of strategic importance, like, for example, Mariupol or Berdyansk. These are also the seaports on our Sea of Azov, and they are close to the now occupied territories in the Donbas and Lugansk regions. So those people are protesting even more, if I can use this formulation, than all others, because they know that they are also targeted, they are vulnerable for this kind of Ruski Mir concept, Russian world concept, Novorossiya, and all these crap, all this nonsense which is being told about common destiny, common history, common culture. That's not the case anymore. I'm a Russian speaker myself, though my native language is Ukrainian, but I use Russian language generally. And I have taught in the University of Odessa for 7 years in Russian language. So people, I mean, everyone can speak whatever language he or she prefers and chooses to do. But for Russian soldiers who have been brainwashed for many, many years and who came to Ukraine expecting they will be welcomed here with bread and salt and flowers, and now what they see, they are welcomed with bullets, with gunshots. So this is, I think, a huge miscalculation.
Dr. Gaber, thank you very much for being with me. I wish you well. I hope you get to go back to your native country very soon. Stay safe, and we will keep in touch with you. Thank you for giving us your time here.